Ever wondered how the concept of intellectual property licensing took birth? It's a fascinating journey that takes us back centuries. The story begins in the Renaissance era, where the seeds of intellectual property licensing were sown. Back then, rulers granted exclusive rights to their subjects to produce certain goods or provide specific services. These were known as monopolies, a predecessor to modern intellectual property rights. Fast forward to the 18th century, the Statute of Anne, passed in 1710, marked a significant milestone in the evolution of intellectual property. This was the first statute to provide for copyright regulated by the government and courts, rather than by private parties. But it was the invention of the printing press that truly set the stage for the explosion of intellectual property licensing. Suddenly, ideas could be disseminated widely and quickly, necessitating a system to protect the rights of the creators. In the early days, intellectual property licensing was primarily used to protect the rights of authors and inventors. It was a means of ensuring that they could reap the rewards of their creativity and hard work. But over the centuries, the concept has evolved and expanded to encompass a vast range of creations of the mind, from inventions and designs to brand names and logos. As the Industrial Revolution took hold in the 19th century, intellectual property licensing became even more critical. As industries grew and technology advanced, businesses began to realize the value of their intellectual property. Licensing became a way to monetize these assets, leading to the birth of the modern intellectual property licensing industry. In the 20th century, the rise of the digital age further transformed the landscape of intellectual property licensing. With the advent of the internet and digital technologies, the need to protect and license intellectual property has become more important than ever. From a simple concept to a billion-dollar industry, intellectual property licensing has come a long way. It has grown and evolved along with our societies and technologies, becoming an indispensable tool in the world of business and innovation. The modern intellectual property licensing industry is a complex web of agreements, policies, and laws. But how did we get here? The 20th and 21st centuries have seen dramatic evolution in the intellectual property licensing industry. It's been a journey of change and adaptation, starting from the traditional patent and copyright systems through to the digital era. The early 20th century was dominated by physical inventions and innovations, requiring patents for protection. The industry revolved around tangible assets, like machinery, pharmaceuticals, and consumer goods. Intellectual property licensing was straightforward, with patents being granted for a set period to protect inventions from being copied. As we moved into the mid-20th century, the advent of television and radio brought about a new wave of intellectual property needs. Copyrights became vital in protecting creative works, such as scripts, music, and broadcasts. This sparked a shift in the industry towards protecting intangible assets. The late 20th century marked the rise of the digital age. The internet revolutionized every aspect of life, including the intellectual property licensing industry. Suddenly, intellectual property wasn't just about physical inventions or creative works. It now encompassed software, digital content, and even domain names. This digital revolution necessitated a change in how we view and manage intellectual properties. Traditional patent and copyright systems were ill-equipped to handle the complexities of the digital world. This led to the development of new policies and laws to protect intellectual property in the digital realm. The dawn of the 21st century saw the advent of social media and streaming platforms, further complicating the intellectual property landscape. User-generated content, streaming rights, and digital piracy became new challenges to navigate. Through all these shifts, the intellectual property licensing industry has had to constantly adapt and evolve. The rise of digital technology and the internet has not only transformed the nature of intellectual property, but also how it's licensed and protected. As technology evolved, so did the intellectual property licensing industry, paving the way for a new player on the stage: artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, a term that seems to be on everyone's lips these days. But what does it mean for the intellectual property licensing industry? Well, let's take a closer look. Artificial intelligence, or AI as it's more commonly known, is being used in numerous ways across the intellectual property licensing industry. One of the most significant applications is in the area of IP search. With thousands of patents being registered every day, the task of searching and identifying relevant intellectual property is no small feat. Yet AI algorithms, with their ability to process vast amounts of data at lightning speeds, are proving to be a game changer. AI doesn't just stop at searching, it's also being used in the analysis of intellectual property. AI algorithms can sift through years of patent data, identifying trends, and making predictions about future developments. This kind of insight can be invaluable when it comes to making strategic decisions about licensing and technology development. But it's not just about the big picture. AI is also making a difference at the granular level, in the management of intellectual property. AI can automate many of the tedious administrative tasks associated with IP management, freeing up valuable time for legal professionals to focus on the more nuanced aspects of their work. Of course, with any new technology, there are potential challenges. AI is no exception. There are questions about the accuracy of AI algorithms, the potential for bias, and the ethical implications of using AI in decision-making processes. And let's not forget, the use of AI in IP licensing also raises legal questions about the ownership of AI-generated intellectual property. Despite these challenges, the potential benefits of AI are too significant to ignore. If harnessed correctly, AI could revolutionize the intellectual property licensing industry, making it more efficient, more accurate, and more insightful. However, it's crucial that we navigate these uncharted waters with caution, ensuring that we balance the benefits of AI with the need to maintain ethical and legal standards. AI has the potential to revolutionize the intellectual property licensing industry, but it's not without its challenges. So, what does the future hold for the intellectual property licensing industry? As we delve into the endless possibilities, it's clear that technological advancements will play a pivotal role. Artificial intelligence in particular is set to revolutionize the way we manage and license intellectual property. Imagine a world where AI algorithms efficiently match licensors with licensees, based on their specific needs and preferences. Or consider the potential for AI to streamline the negotiation process, reducing the time and resources required to finalize a licensing agreement. But with these exciting opportunities come significant challenges. For instance, how do we ensure that AI systems are fair and transparent in their decision-making? And how do we protect the rights of creators in a rapidly evolving digital landscape? These are just a few of the questions that industry leaders and legal professionals will need to wrestle with in the coming years. As we continue to innovate, the intellectual property licensing industry will continue to evolve, offering exciting possibilities and challenges alike.